Hey guys, welcome back to the CulePodcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about Ilkay Gundogan for the last time as he has given his farewell. And as well, it has been confirmed his departure. He will be leaving the club. Everything has been confirmed. And as we're going to be talking about Christensen, as he has picked up a new injury, we're going to talk about him and how it could affect, for example, other futures of some Barcelona players. Talking about Barcelona's new captains, and then lastly talking about Hector Ferreyra and some of Hansi Flick's words looking ahead towards that match against Athletic Club tomorrow in La Liga. But guys, before I get started on the video, make sure to follow me on my social media platforms. Everything's posted down below in the description. Go over there and check me out. That way you guys to stay up to date with everything that I do on the channel. But guys, let's get straight into the video. All right, guys, let's talk about Ilkay Gundogan because it has been confirmed. Man City and Barcelona have both announced Ilkay Gundogan's departure. We've known this for a couple of days, but everything has been finalized. Ilkay Gundogan now is back in Manchester, and this is Ilkay Gundogan's farewell message to Barcelona fans. And he says this, Dear Culés, after just 1 year, it's already time to say goodbye. I came here to face a new, exciting challenge, and I was ready for it. I have given everything to fight for the team and the club the best way possible in a difficult season, and I was looking forward to helping my teammates in the new campaign. Now I am leaving in a difficult situation, but if my departure can help the club financially, it makes me a bit less sad. Nevertheless, it's been a time with incredible experiences and ups and downs. I always wanted to play at Barca, and I am very grateful for a memory and experience that I will remember for my life. I wish you the best for the season and for the future. The fans deserve to get this club back to the world's best. VISCA Barca, best wishes, Ilkay. And that was, guys, Ilkay Gundogan's farewell message. And something that interesting that he did mention is in that sentence, in the middle of his statement, he says, "Now I am leaving in a difficult situation, but if my departure can help the club financially, it makes me a little bit sad." And that's just, a slight little dig at Laporta and the club, talking publicly about Barcelona's poor financial situation. And, Ilkay Gundogan, guys, he's a player that deserves our respect. Tremendous amount of support was given to him. And, it's so sad to see Ilkay Gundogan go and leave Barcelona because he was one of Barcelona's best players last season, if not the best. And he remained a professional throughout this entire process, helping the club and everything, unlike some other players who are still sitting here and earning absurd wages and not contributing an ounce of what Ilkay Gundogan contributed in just 1 year. But Ilkay Gundogan, he will be returning back to Man City under Pep Guardiola, and I just know that we are going to be regretting that decision to let him go, basically. But now, guys, I want to be talking about Andres Christensen because unfortunately, Christensen, he has picked up an injury and he will be out for almost 2 months. And when I saw this, I was like, how? How did this happen? Well, apparently Christensen, he did get injured during training, and he has been feeling some, discomfort, and that's why he hasn't been playing, recently. And it's such a shame, honestly, guys, that just at the start of the season we're losing Anders Christensen, because Christensen at his best is absolutely phenomenal, but he is one of those players that is injury prone, and we've already have our first injury of the new season. And what could that mean, for example, of the future of Eric Garcia? Because reports were circulating around in the media that Eric Garcia was linked to a potential return back to Girona. Girona wanted him. Michel and the board, they wanted him back. But now that Christensen is injured, could that mean that Eric Garcia has a place at Barcelona? Barcelona with the injuries, for example, knowing that our squad is very injury prone, could Eric Garcia, with the possibility of both of being able to play in that CDM position, in that midfield and the base, as well as a center back, and if you really push it as a right back, could Barcelona be inclined to keep him? This is something that Barcelona they are going to be having to explore in these next upcoming days, and Hansi Flick as well, trying to basically test the waters. But it's interesting. It's interesting. Could Christensen's injury mean the stay of Eric Garcia. Are you guys a fan of that? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. But now, guys, I'm going to be talking about the captain situation because Barcelona, they have announced their captains for the 2024-2025 season, and that is Marc-Andre ter Stegen, Ronald Araujo, Frankie de Jong, Rafinha, and Pedri. And all of these captains were voted by the team. And as you can see down below, the first captain is ter Stegen, second captain is Araujo, third is de Jong, fourth is Rafinha, and fifth is Pedri. I'm surprised that Lewandowski wasn't included in this list, and Gavi as well, because these two players, I would say they are key figures in the squad. Gavi for that personality, but it's understandable why Pedri is in there, and Rafinha, he was a surprise. But something that just bothers me a little bit is it's crazy to think that ter Stegen and Frankie de Jong, they are Barcelona captains, because these are two players that I not really big a fan of. No, I'm not a big fan of them, and I would like to see them leave the club. But Barcelona, unbelievable that we let go of Ilkay Gundogan, but we still have these two guys at the club. But these are your captains for the next upcoming season. Are you guys in agreement with this? Would you guys want to see some changes? Would you guys have preferred to see Lewandowski, instead of Rafinha or Pedri, or would you guys say, this is perfect, and I'm excited to see the captains next season. But now, guys, one of the final things I want to talk about on today's video is Hector Ford, because right now our reports are saying that Hector Ford, he wants to stay at Barcelona. We do know that Hansi Flick, he had some doubts in regards to Hector Ford, viewed him a little bit too green, and viewed it better for Hector Ford to go out on loan rather than stay at Barcelona. We know that Alaves, Mallorca, and Girona, they have inquired about Hector Ford, but all the approaches have been rejected, and Hector Ford, he wants to stay at Barcelona. But things can change. For example, if Barcelona go out to sign Marc Puig, the Almeria right back. But as of right now, Barcelona, they're not going to be signing out anyone until they figure out the Barcelona's financial situation, because Dani Olmo is still not registered, and more departures, they are needed in order for Dani Olmo, in order for him to be registered. And if Dani Olmo can't be registered, for example, and we still need more departures, then it makes absolutely no sense to go out for Marco Will or Federico Chiesa, for example. Let's figure out and let's get these registrations in order before we go out and we send any more players. But Hector Ford staying as of right now. Are you guys in favor of that, or would you guys want to see, for example, Hector Ford sent out on loan and develop as a player? But now, guys, I want to briefly talk about Hansi Flick, because Hansi Flick, he has spoken in the press conference before the game against Athletic Club, and he did talk about Gundogan's departure. He was asked a variety of questions, and he said this in regards to Gundogan. I already had that question against Valencia. He wanted to help us, but he changed his mind this week. I know him, and I can only say good things about him. He's a fantastic player and person. I completely agree. Helping the club financially, just leaving, without creating any drama, any problems for the club. That's something that you have to applaud. Now Flick talks about Dani Olmo, and he says, it's not my job to talk about training. I really like his work. He's ready to play. I hope he'll be ready tomorrow. He's a fantastic player. I see him in training under pressure. And right there, Hansi Flick said it. Dani Olmo is ready. Dani Olmo is ready to play against Athletic Club tomorrow. But Barcelona, they have to do their homework. They have to register Dani Olmo in order for him to be available tomorrow, and that's something that we have doubts about. Now, Flick talks about Fermin. He says the impression is that he is ready to help. After the two tournaments, it was important for him to rest. He is now ready to help. He has not lost form, and it would not be surprising, guys, to see Fermin Lopez have a big role in tomorrow's game, because keep this in mind. Fermin Lopez, he only had roughly a week off, and he did come up, from winning the Olympics and from a good Euro tournament. I know that he wasn't a starter, but he was involved in the team. He was in the dynamics, and we're gonna have to see whether or not he has a big role tomorrow. Now, Hansi Flick, he talks about Christensen. He says, "Why should I talk to him about?" Obviously, I do, about what we see. He had some problems that forced him to train individually. He's a fantastic player, a fantastic defender. He must be 100%. 80% is not enough for us. And with that injury, man, it just means that Christensen is going to be, out for a period of time. He talks about Casado as well, and he talks about the comparisons with Joshua Kimmich, and he says physically he is comparable. I watch a lot of Barcelona B matches from last season, and I really like them. I see in training and in matches. I am happy with the U team. It is a fantastic for the club. And Marc Casado, I do have a feeling that he's going to be playing a big role for Hansi Flick because we've seen him, have a significant amount of minutes so far. And it's interesting to see that, Hansi Flick trusts Marc Casado and puts so much faith in him. And for Xavi, Marc Gasol really didn't have that much play time, or if any. And now, he talks about the club, he talks about Nico Williams, and he says it is one of the teams that has run the most kilometers in recent years. It's physically very strong, and it has a great coach. It will be a tough match in regards to Nico. He says we have a player who is very expert at countering the ball, like Koundé. Nico is not one of our players, and I'm not talking about him. He just ends it right there. And lastly, he talks about Rafinha. He says he can take on many positions. I don't really like to talk about individuals. I like to talk about the team. But Rafinha always helps us with his pressing. And against Valencia, he did some very intense sprints. And, I have a feeling that Rafinha is going to be a big player for Hansi Flick as well. With the style of play that Hansi Flick likes to play, very intense, aggressive, basically all in your face style of play, Rafinha could be, that type of player that basically is untouchable and immovable in that starting lineup for Hansi Flick. But guys, that was it for the Barcelona news of the day. Definitely let me know your thoughts on everything that I discussed on today's video. Gundogan, he says farewell to the Barcelona fans. Eric Garcia and Christensen. Christensen injured. Could that open the door for Eric Garcia? Hector Ford staying. Barcelona announced their captains for next season, and Hansi Flick looks ahead towards Barcelona's game against Athletic Club tomorrow in La Liga. But guys, that was it for the Barcelona news of the day. Definitely let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. As always, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, guys.